WICR, we're back at the political Gridiron for another little small segment. I'm Pat McGuire. This is my co-host Bill Maloney. We're gonna go over a little bit more. What do you want to do?
More politics. Pat, let's talk about Obama's deceptions on Iran and Cuba, as
yes.
the Washington Post articulates recently.
Okay. So necessarily about the Gruber doctrine.
Yeah. Basically, the fact that Obama keeps on espousing to this Gruber-like belief that the American public is too stupid to really know what's going on, and that it actually goes to help the Obama administration out. And I think that once again, it shows disrespect towards the American people, just like Hillary Clinton's announcement video disrespects the American people.
Well, said a lot there. I mean, I think a lack of transparency is a big thing, and it's definitely discussed in this article. And I see that as a highlight. But I mean, when we're talking about the Middle East, Iran, transparency is everything when it comes to the Middle East. And when we talk about the issues at hand that happen there, we really need to stress the fact that we need to know what's going on. Information needs to be flowing a little bit more easily. I think when it comes down to factors of, like not necessarily who's attacking who, but who's on whose side, And when we look at elements such as ISIS, and just how necessarily they've been effective in just maintaining land. They're one of the top 5 organizations in the entire world that are able to just steal and able to gamble out their money, and basically just being capable of obtaining the kind of resources.
Pat, when we look at the Obama administration's diplomatic affairs with Iran and Cuba, the Obama administration has never said anything about if the sanctions are going to be taken off in the front or in the back of their 10-year sunset clause deal. And they've never really spoken about why we should get back with Cuba. They've never really articulated a position on the terrorists that Cuba still has. They've never said anything about the murderer of a New Jersey state cop that Cuba is keeping in the prison. They never really.
Cuba to me is
Obama has
concept.
never spoken about how we're going to go reform and how we're going to go improve the lives of the Cuban people, because ultimately, if we want to go into Cuba, we have to go make change there, and it can't be about just bringing back business to the Americas. It has to be about helping the Cuban people and helping many generations of Cubans that have just been told this whole fallacy of socialism, and we have to go help them out, and we have to go show them the entrepreneurial aspect of capitalism.
Bill, I understand that, but you have to look at the Clash of Clans. Like, it's communism versus democracy. And
democracy wins. America wins, baby.
It's a big, of course. America always has to win, and it always has to have.
Is there anything wrong with America always winning?
Bill, you have to look at it from a point of views here. You can't just
greatest country on God's green earth.
America is great because I can tell you this much: there's a group of people that are willing to demolish America in the moment they get the chance, and you have to see that. And it's not, and you can even also look at it as a parallel. There are people that are just like, I choose not to deal with America. I choose to live in a communist society because I prefer it. And there are those few people. I mean, and you have to see that Cuba is definitely one of them. Hold on.
The Cuban people are better than that. The Cuban people have just been told.
It's not about being better or anything.
No,
like
the Cuban people have just been told by Fidel Castro and Raul Castro's regime that, hey, you don't deserve the right to go create your own company, that we're going to go tell you everything. They've kept them in a destitute-like environment. Now, the Cuban people have to be shown by a real leader, which I don't think that Barack Obama is. They have to be shown that they can go work. They have to be shown the reaps, the benefits of what they reap. And they have to, be shown the American way.
I wish we had a little more time, but let me quick recap. When you talk about Cuba, Cuba is such an interesting island necessarily to talk about because it has such a strong, presence in just mid 20th century and all that stuff. But you have to look at necessarily how they developed their society over the times that we basically just shunned them. They drive old American cars. That's their thing. But communism as a whole in that country is so prominent and so well used to and taught to that it's a shadow of a veil that America's done that self. They brought a shadow. It's called in philosophy we call it basically the allegory of the cave. You're putting yourself. You know what I mean?
I know philosophy quite well.
Yeah, you're putting this veil of what you're only perceiving and what you're seeing, and so when you're so well used to it and you're so well versed on it, it's like someone comes in and tells you something totally different. Your immediate reaction is to all out just demolish that, to eliminate that threat, that factor, because it's scary. It's an alternate view. And when America goes about what they do, I mean, and it's been proven in Vietnam, it's been proven in Cuba, it's been proven with our diplomatic, it's been proven with our relation with Russia in the Cuban Missile Crisis, and and within the Cold War, you can't just bring someone out of the cave. You can't just do that. That just scares them.
Well,
you
Pat,
have to really comfortably bring them into a sense that if you really want to converse with them and bring them out of something that they need to be aware of, that's something different. You need to bring that to their presence within their social veil. It's something they need to be comfortable with seeing in their veil of presence.
Well, Pat, the Cuban national government and the Castros have not had that conversation with the Cuban people. They've just strong-armed and strong-willed them into a life of destitution and poverty.
I mean, that's the point of view, and that's what we've seen here in America.
Pat, to really bring someone out of the cave, we're going to have to go have that conversation with the American people.
I don't think it's breaking them out of the cave.
Proud Americans and courageous conservatives like myself are willing to do that, and Barack Obama is not either one of those, and that's why I believe that in 2016 we do need that change, and I think that it's not just about winning an election, it's about moving the world and changing the world together.
There you go.
One person and one conversation and one vote at a time. And with that, God bless you all.
God bless America.
God bless America and go Gales.